So private equity firms Blackrock and Blackstone are both in the process of acquiring their first electric utility companies. Blackrock is buying one based out of Minnesota for a little over $6 billion, and they provide services to right around 100,000 people. Blackstone is buying a utility company in New Mexico for just over $11 billion. And why is private equity starting to get into electricity companies? Well, let me share a little insight with you. PSEG, which is an electric company out of New Jersey, just reported its first quarters of 2025 to be up 47% over last year. They claim that 90% of this energy usage is from AI and data centers. Let that sink in, people. Your energy bills are going to go through the roof.
What's up, America? You guys are going to love this bullshit. So everybody knows Blackrock, right? The company Blackrock that's fucking everybody in America? They're going to be buying utility companies now. That's right, utility companies. They've already purchased an electric company up in Minnesota. Fuck you. They have plans to invest hundreds of billions of dollars into the utility market here in the United States so you can watch your electricity and gas bills go up to nosebleed levels. So let's take a look at this bullshit and what Blackrock is going to be fucking us for now. Because you will be seeing double the prices for utilities coming up, even on top of what you've seen so far, because these fuckbags are going to make sure that happens. So Blackrock is proposing a $6.2 billion acquisition of Owlete Incorporated, the parent company of Minnesota Power, which is a regulated utility electric company serving 150,000 people. That's where it begins. Oh, but there's more. Blackrock acquired GIP, which is the global infrastructure partner, which manages $100 billion of American infrastructure assets, including energy and utility-related investments. That $100 billion that Blackrock just spent is part of a larger $170 billion asset management acquisition, specifically for electric companies throughout the United States. And guess what they're championing by doing this? That's right, renewable energy for your electric grid. That's right, renewable energy only, yeah. On top of that, Blackrock is putting money into AI systems to run these plants through AI means as well. So let's take a look at what the head of Blackrock said about companies that they acquire. Let's take a look together as a family. Now remember, Blackrock owns most companies in America, or at least controls them. So let's take a look. Behaviors are going to have to change. We're asking companies to force behaviors. At Blackrock, we are forcing behaviors. If you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race, you're going to be impacted, says Larry Fink, CEO of Blackrock. And they basically own every company in America that's a major corporation. And if you want to know why everything's gone woke, that's because the head of Blackrock says if you don't, you'll be negatively impacted. So the CEO of Blackrock is saying that the behavior of people here in America need to be forced into changing to be woke, basically. And that same conglomerate is buying your utility companies now. And guess what? They're going to make everything green, renewable energy. And guess what's going to happen to your bill? You're going to be banged out financially, taking back shots for the rest of your life. That's what it is. Have fun. Fuck Blackrock. These pieces of shit need to be destroyed. What's up, America?
Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Racha Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone who rule and teach well. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Barakadam. Peace and blessings, salutations to the sincere Hakim Wa'akwath out there listening, learning, keeping the faith and diligence of our Lord Yahushai, occupying the prophecies, knowing this gospel abroad, and keeping the faith until the Lord will all fulfill and we are redeemed. So Esau, the evil villain, is up to his devious work again, okay? And it was either today or yesterday you had that devil, Larry Fink, which if I'm not mistaken, he's the head of Blackrock. You know, he's now been appointed the the chairman of the WEF. Okay, and we know that, BlackRock pretty much, owns all the major corporations in America. Okay, and this right here, BlackRock and Blackstone hijack America's power grid as W to the E to the F agenda creeps into every corner of life. All right, so this is pretty much the theme of the times. These devils at the top, they're strong arming your life from you. All right, and it's really amazing, that these Americans, man, that they haven't risen up to the call yet. Okay, as the beloved elder Malcolm says, man, this ain't the home of the brave. This is the land of the bend over and take it. All right, because these people have just let these devils, pretty much just seize, every aspect of their life to now where it's gotten to this point to where it's, it's really too late. These devils pretty much got everybody by the balls, man. All right, so it's about to get very, very bad in Babylon. And see, we already feel the squeeze. The squeeze is already on. All right, and when you consider, because we know that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, he comes in the spirit of the serpent. All right, and you got, two different types of serpents. You got the serpent that'll bite you, and inject you with poison, and then you got the serpent that constrict. All right, and right now what's happening is this serpent, he's constricting you. He's squeezing the life out of you. Okay, and he's measuring the heart rate, measuring the pulse, and he knows that the prey is pretty much out of there. All right, so now he's about to really clamp down, make the squeeze even tighter to finish the job, man. So yeah, we're at the point of no return. These devils have pretty much about to, move forward with their NWO, and there's nothing that anybody can do about it. Of course, we know this is all to fulfill the will of the Heavenly Father, to fulfill prophecy, because before we get up out of here, these things must be. But yeah, man, it's really crazy how, there really should have been a, civil war, mass uprising behind this years ago. But hey, if they don't rise up behind this, man, it's over. Well, it's really over anyway. So, getting into this, get ready for your electricity bills to skyrocket, as if utilities aren't high enough already. Coming out of the summer months, utilities are usually higher, because of the heat and things of that nature. But wintertime, going into the winter, when people use heat inside their homes and stuff like that, just expect it. I saw some articles, saying that utilities are set to go up 100 to 200%. Okay, and that's because of these data centers that they build, and with the AI, and they've been putting out warnings to tell people to pretty much cut back on your electricity usage because they need the energy to run these data centers, you see? And all this is, BlackRock is behind all of this, you see? The global power brokers are making their next big move straight into the American energy grid. Both BlackRock and Blackstone, two of the world's most powerful private equity firms, are now acquiring electric utility companies in the U.S. for the first time. So what does this mean? This means that these devils, they're about to have they've been had direct control, but it was pretty much under the control of private equity. Okay, so private companies pretty much ran the electricity, basically based on whatever state that you're in, they ran it that way. But now all these electricity companies are about to be centralized to BlackRock. Okay, so now they're going to dictate the terms to these companies, as you saw in that TikTok clip, to say, oh, well, we need to force this behavior. Okay, we need to force people to cut back on electricity, or they're gonna have some high-ass electricity bills, as if people aren't already under the squeeze, as if people aren't already barely getting by on the utilities, man. Okay, so by 2026, a lot of people are about to be asked out. You know, a lot of people are about to be out here, you know, just through. All right, more than what you already see. So for the first time, they're going beyond their usual financial portfolios and sinking their claws directly into the infrastructure that keeps your lights on and your refrigerator running. So this also means that they're going to be able to cut off the power at will. Okay, they're going to be able to black out whole cities. Understand? And that devil, you know, Klaus Schwab, he told you years ago to prepare for a comprehensive cyber attack that'll pretty much black out the grid. All right, so now that the announcement has came out that Blackrock pretty much has control over the electric grid, you know, this is going to be the catalyst for these devils to pretty much pull the plug on the system, because we know that within the next, I think it was the next 90 days or something like that, the U.S. dollar is going to go through a great transition because, you know, contrary to, you know, what most people refuse to accept, we're headed into a Great Depression. I mean, we're already in a recession, all right, but we're headed into a Great Depression 2.0, man, all right, and it's going to be worse than the first one. So now, with this element at play, these devils can now cut off the power, okay, nationwide, you see, and more than likely, this is what's going to happen, because it's already been telegraphed, right? So, yeah, they're sinking their claws directly into the infrastructure. All right, Blackrock is muscling into America's power grid with a $6 billion takeover of a Minnesota utility company. This isn't some small side investment. This deal gives Blackrock control over the electricity supply of roughly 100,000 customers, meaning families and businesses alike will now be dependent on a Wall Street giant for their most basic daily needs. And check it out. Notice how it says families and businesses, okay? And when you go into Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, you know, it tells you that the doors shall be shut in the streets. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick, man. Okay, because listen, man, these prophecies are speaking, all right? Things are really going down. This is Ecclesiastes verse 12 and 3, the point. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few. So a lot more people are about to be out of work because these businesses are already struggling, okay? The cost of everything is up. People aren't buying like they used to. Now, you're going to have the utilities get more expensive to where businesses that are already struggling, all right, because you have a lot of businesses going under in this time, but businesses that are already struggling, they're not going to be able to keep up with the rising cost of everything around them. Also, private, you know, homeowners, a lot of people are about to lose their homes, you know, property taxes going up, you know, HOAs, you know, insurance, everything is sky high right now. And these devils are about to make it even worse for you, okay? So there's a, man, it's crazy, man, you know, but we here to where, listen, you know, the America that you knew pre-2020, that's over with, that's done, okay? We're coming into an era of loss, okay? Great mourning, great sorrow, as our Lord Yahushua said, the beginning of sorrows, right? Yeah, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few. And those that look out of the windows be darkened. Yeah, people looking out into the world, and it's not a good outlook. You know, the future is not bright, man, okay? Things are shutting down. Things are worse than ever. And people ain't seen nothing yet, because it's going to get a whole lot worse than what you could ever imagine. You see? So yeah, definitely a dark outlook, especially here in America, Babylon the Great. Verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? It's about to be a lot more job loss, a lot more financial insecurity, okay? And that's going to cause what? That's going to cause people to become more demonic, you know, more impulsive, more in survival mode, okay? Which, you know, as it is written, you know, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So you're gonna have to really watch who you be around, be circumspect in these last days, man, because the days are evil. And now that people are losing more, more than ever, you're not gonna have that cordial spirit out here, man. Now, people gonna be in the spirit of very savage, animalistic nature. Okay, to where they're gonna look to survive by any means. All right. It says, not to be outdone, Blackstone is pushing through an even bigger land grab in the Southwest. Their upcoming $11 billion purchase of New Mexico utility company will hand them unprecedented influence over energy distribution in the region. When private equity takes over essential infrastructure, you can bet the public will pay the price through skyrocketing bills and dwindling freedom of choice. And that's what it's all about. It's all about taking control. It's all about making the lives of Americans and really people worldwide a living hell. And that's Habakkuk 2. Let's get that, right? Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up in him is not, so let me read it again. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Speaking of Esau, Edom, okay? This man is not right. This man's the devil that the Bible speaks of. And he's here to put complete hell on you. But the just shall live by his faith. Verse 5, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death. See? So this man enlarged his desire as hell. That's his MO, to make life on earth a living hell. And as we see, he's accomplished that with flying colors, man. All right, beyond a shadow of a doubt, everything is mourning. All right, Proverbs 29:2 say that when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. But when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So the whole of the earth is mourning. Why? Because the wicked is in power. Okay, Job 9:24, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. Right? His desire is hell and is as death. Because a lot of death is going to come behind what these devils are doing. All right, shutting down the power grid, making utilities go up. People going to freeze to death in the wintertime because they can't afford the utility bills. And then in the summertime when it's super hot, people going to be dying. All right. This man is putting, I saw an article earlier where now they're putting some chemical inside of American cheese. You know what I'm saying? And they're not putting it on the label. Okay, so these devils are setting up mass death on the earth, man. All right, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Okay. So this is why these devils got to go, man. Okay, because everything that they touch, they just ruin it. And in the words of Kim Jong-un, okay, went into a lesson yesterday. He pretty much called the small hats over there in the land of Israel a cancer. You see, so the whole world now realizes who the problem is. Okay, the common denominator between all of the world's issues are the Edomites, okay, in particular, the small hats, okay, the Jewish people, So yeah, utility bills are coming up, no doubt. There's a blackout coming soon, and the agenda is clear: to control food, water, and energy. And see, ultimately, we know the goal of where all of this is really going. Okay, we know that Esau's pretty much hijacking life because he wants you to take the MOTB in order to receive food, water, energy, housing. Okay? This is how he's going to cause all. He's going to cut you off from life, and then he's going to say, okay, well, if you want these things, now you got to opt into this new system, which is the B system. All right? In which you're going to put a chip inside you. All right? And if you want anything, you're going to have to go directly to this devil. Okay? They already dominate agriculture through seed patents and land grabs. They're expanding into water rights, and now utilities are the next frontier. The takeover isn't coming; it's already here. Yeah, and that's the point. See, what the prophets have been warning of to the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmel Shai, we're in these days now. Okay? So these things are not some far off realization. It's happening right now before your eyes. Okay? These devils are moving with fervency, man. Okay, just like how the scriptures tell you that Noah move with haste, with a fear to build the ark because he knew that the destruction was coming. Well, these devils on the left-hand side, they're moving with haste to implement their agenda because they know that their time is short. All right? So all these things go into it. Then when you go here, check it out. Wholesale veggie prices just spiked a shocking 38% and could hit U.S. consumers soon. Tariffs not only to blame. You see? So wholesale vegetables, okay, broccoli, carrots, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, and we've been seeing what's been happening with the farmers over the past few years. Now, funding is being cut off to the farmers, so they're not producing as much yield because they're not getting the funding that they used to get from the government. You see what I'm saying? So the farms are going under. A lot of farmers are having to go out of business, and they're not importing as much from overseas anymore because of these tariffs. Okay, so they saying that wholesale vegetables are going to shoot up in price 38%. So pretty much say goodbye to fresh produce. Okay, so you see what these devils are doing? They're controlling food. Okay, which I forget who made the statement, but if you control the food, then you can control the population. All right, so the price of wholesale vegetables shot up 38% in July, an increase that experts say is no small potatoes. As President Trump's tariff war continues to spark fears of inflation and even a possible recession, and we're already in a recession, man. Okay, we're heading towards a depression. Okay. The latest producer price index report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, released August 14, seems to justify those concerns. According to the report, wholesale prices climbed 3.3% for the year ending in July, the largest 12-month increase since rising 3.4% in February 2025. While it is true that the added cost hasn't yet equated to a surge in increased grocery store prices, many experts believe that it is likely on the horizon. It's a development that runs contrary to the concerns of the 96% of 2024 election voters who cited grocery prices among their main priorities at the ballot box. All right, so these stupid ass Americans, they went and pretty much voted for their own demise. Okay, so you people are getting exactly what the hell did you deserve, man. All right, like how stupid can you be? You really only had the option of two devils. Okay, you had Kamala, with she's incompetent as hell, but honestly, we already told you, whoever gets in the office, whether it was her or whether it was, DJT, the outcome was not going to be good because they're both contributing to the same agenda. Salakia, they're both contributing to the same agenda, man, which is the agenda of the elite bankers, okay, which is to completely take over America, collapse the economy, and set up this beast system. That's the end goal, all right? So, yeah. Thanks to Jeff Bezos, you can now become a landlord. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for the article, man, but you get the point, right? The price of everything is going up, and people's wages are not increasing to keep up with this higher price increase, okay? And on top of that, more people are losing their jobs more than ever. People are financially more unstable than ever now, okay? So this is crash out season, This is crash out season. A lot more retailers are about to go down. It's going to contribute to the loss of more jobs, okay? So again, we're entering into a depression era in America, and the answer to that depression is going to be just like it was in the first one, because remember, in 1929, what happened? These Amalek pretty much crashed the stock market. Okay, all the businesses went under, people lost their jobs. It was high unemployment, and then the answer was what? Now we're going to bring about Social Security. Okay, everybody had to get a Social Security number, you know. Then they set up, welfare programs. Okay, that was all a part of the New Deal. Okay, well, this modern day New Deal is going to come in the form of this B system. All right, people going to lose their jobs. You know, people going to lose their farms, lose their housing, and everything like that. And if you want to get back on track, if you want to have some sort of comfort, you're going to have to get this new modern day Social Security number, which is going to come in the form of the RFID micro C-HIP. Okay, you're going to have to put yourself on the grid. You're going to have to, opt in to the what's the name of that thing? The Palantir, right? All of this entails this new government, this NWO. All right, so we can see through the spirit where it's going. All right, so let's get Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, okay? Because this is the wicked reasoning within themselves, man. This is the secret counsel of the wicked. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. Going down. And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance. And our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud. And the scriptures say that he shall have no name in the street. Okay? Let's get that real quick. I believe that's shall have no name. Real quick. Yeah, Job 18 and 17 says, Job 18 and 15, it shall dwell in his tabernacle because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. His roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. And that's these devils, man. Okay, that's going to be their latter end. But as we're reading here in Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, okay, they know of what we just read in Job, man, to where their remembrance is going to perish from the earth once they're taken out of rule. So this is why they're coming down with that great wrath, because this is pretty much their last attempt to make a name for themselves, to establish their rule on the earth, which is going to end in utter misery. Okay, and our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof. For our time is a very shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning, for it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again. Come on, therefore let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in youth, right? Let's go down. Verse 10, let us oppress the poor righteous man, which are the Israelites. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objecteth to our infamy the transgressings of our education. Okay? So these devils know in the spirit that they ain't right, man. Okay, that's why we read in Habakkuk, his spirit which is lifted up in them is not upright. Okay, so all the wickedness that they're doing, this is what they've been programmed to do. You see, this is their purpose on the earth, to oppress, okay, to steal, to kill, and to destroy. All right, and when you go to Psalm the 73rd chapter, okay, because right now their strength is firm, man. Psalms 73 and verse 1, it says, truly Yahweh is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. But as for me, my feet were almost gone, my steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. You see that? So there's no bands in these devils' death, man. Okay? As it says in verse 5, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. So all this power, all this money that they got, they can go around the earth and just messing everything up because why? The power has been given in their hand. Okay, this is their time of rule, but at the same time, they're on the way out. They're going down. These Edomites are being exposed left and right. All right, they can no longer hide themselves. Their secret council is now an open council. You see, to now where people have figured them out. Now people are putting the pieces together, and ultimately there's a spirit out here to reveal the wicked. Okay, as the scriptures say that the man of sin, right? Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, right? Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the son of perdition. Okay, perdition goes into destruction. And the scriptures speak about how the Lord have created all things, even the wicked, for the day of evil. All right, and it also talks about the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction, and that's these Edomites. Okay, they were made to be destroyed. Verse 4, who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sits in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God, right? So that's the devil, man, and he's being revealed in this time now. Okay, he's being revealed as what? The problem, the cancer of the earth, and he's soon to be rooted out. You know what I'm saying? So all of this is what they got going on, all right? They think that they're going to accomplish their enterprise because of their pride. But in Job 20, it tells you that the Lord is going to frustrate them, that he's going to put them in a position of difficulty, in a position of straits, okay? To where their plans are going to be frustrated. And ultimately, Yahweh Shai is going to return and cut these devils off, man. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end it right there. Just wanted to make that a quick edifying lesson. Lord willing, you were edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Shai. Call law, Yahweh Bashmi Shai, Bashim Rakakadash. And until next time, shalom to the elect.